Price, range, and charging are typical concerns and considerations for those shopping for EVs, and Chevy aims to address that with this, the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV, an all-electric alternative to the gas-powered Equinox. The compact SUV segment is apparently the one that is most likely to consider an EV, and it's also highly competitive with like 25% of the overall market. The Equinox EV comes in two flavors, the LT and the RS. It's a front-wheel drive based platform with all-wheel drive available, built on the GM modular EV architecture Ultium. In front-wheel drive form, it makes 213 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in the 8-second range. The all-wheel drive one is 288 horsepower and 333 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in the 6-second range. But range itself is where it's quite impressive. The front-wheel drive one is rated at 319 miles. If you go to the all-wheel drive one, it drops to 285 miles out of the 84 kilowatt-hour battery pack. In terms of charging, 150 kilowatt fast charging will add 77 miles in 10 minutes, and on a regular level 2 charger, you'll add about 34 miles per hour. Today we're going to experience this Equinox EV 3RS front-wheel drive model to see what it's like. Let's take a tour of the Equinox EV. This one here is an RS trim, so it's much more sporty and aggressive, but overall, the EV version of the Equinox is already much more sleek and sporty compared to the gas-powered one. We have this big light bar up front that spans the entire front end. It also works as a turn signal. The headlights are down below. Actually have this like carbon fiber textured black trim around here with the blacked out fascia and the RS badge. This one is on 21-inch wheels. 19-inch is standard, but we can upgrade to 21-inch wheels. We have the charging door here on the driver's side. And then the Equinox badge gets the similar treatment to other Chevy EVs, where the E becomes the 3 blue lines. We have the blacked out mirrors. You can get two-tone black roof on the RS. On the LT, you get two-tone white roof available. And the door handles pop out when you unlock. When you lock, they go ahead and close. Unlock, they open up. Around back, we have a big light bar here. On the higher tier trims, you get the welcome sequence, the animation of the lighting as you approach. We have this triangular textured black trim here too around the back. Now let's see under the hood. There is no front trunk, unfortunately. You can pull this twice. It's just a bunch of like mechanical, electrical things under there. No front trunk on the Equinox EV. Let's check out the tailgate. Double tap on the key fob to open that up. 2 rows, plenty of space back here actually. Looks pretty practical for a compact SUV. With that, let's take a tour of the interior and go for a drive. All right, time for a tour inside the Equinox EV. So when you first get in, you get this big status bar of your state of charge. Press the brake, everything turns on. Look at the size of this screen for an entry-level crossover compact SUV. This is a 17.7-inch infotainment screen, and it looks exactly the same as the one you'll find in the much higher market Blazer, the Silverado EV we were just driving. Same massive screen, 11-inch driver information cluster here. And a really cool thing is because obviously this and the other vehicles are different sizes, right? A Blazer, Silverado is wider. It's kind of modular. They can move these screens back and forth. They actually reposition this volume knob, but allows them to package the same very, very large screen into a smaller compact SUV like the Equinox here, and you get a best-in-class massive infotainment screen. Now, this is running the native Google built-in system, which means no CarPlay, which I am a little bit sad about, but you run the built-in Google Nav, which we're using today, and it can show you your state of charge when you go to different places by the time you arrive. It's all integrated there. You can download apps and so forth, right? This one's got Waze. We would download Spotify and everything. So you have all of that. You can change it up. Really nice graphics for sure, and have little shortcuts here for like one pedal driving, and your headlight controls are all in the screen here now. So there's full screen navigation. You can pair your phone, music, and so forth. It's the lightning bolt. There is charge information there too. And the climate stuff stays just like in the other ones. You got heated and cooled seats here on this RS model. And then you have actual physical ones here. We can turn the knob here for your temperature. You can change the fan speeds. Got a big storage area down there. 2 cup holders. 2 USB-C ports right here. Got the key hanging out here. A little key icon. That's probably where it recognizes it. Because again, there's no on button. You can turn it off though. I can turn the vehicle off if I need to force it off. We have Super Cruise on here, so we have the display on the steering wheel, RS, nice red stitching, Super Cruise button right there. This one is heated steering wheel, blacked out there. Got the sensor, got the stalks. This is the drive selection stalk, so push that for park, down for drive, up for reverse. Pulls up some cameras, standard, Get overhead view, side stuff. Ooh, that one was not super clear. Oh, no, it's good now. Huh. I swear it looked a little blurry for a second. Huh, that's fine. Oh, wait, yeah, that one. So those are not the most clear, but the forward ones are much clearer. Just difference in camera resolution. Still works fine. Got a pretty spacious center console bin here. Little tray. Can take that away. The seats have this got to be synthetic leather, but then we have this like red squishy textured material, the red accent piping, RS on the headrest, and the blue and red stitching. And also, this is one of my favorite parts. This paint fade gradient from like a red metallic hue to the gray, that's really cool. And it managed to look premium, I think because of the more matte sheen to it. It's not like super glossy, but that I think is really cool. This gradient fade of red. You see more red accents there on the sporty looking vents. Definitely less wide and a bit more compact feeling than the Blazer, but that's really, really cool. No digital rearview mirror, just a regular mirror. We do have a sunroof here. And then we will hop in the back seat, see what the space is like. That's a quick tour up front in the Equinox EV. You also get a pretty big storage area underneath that center console, the beauty of electric vehicle platforms. Second row space, I've got the driver's seat to where I would be while driving. Decent legroom back here. We've got this cutout here in the roof, so at 6'2", 6'3", actually fit back here not bad. We also have heated seats back here, more USB-C ports, storage in the seat back here. I'm actually pretty impressed with the space. And then that same gradient accent trim piece, which is really cool. How do I get out? Oh no, the child locks must be on. Oh crap. Help. Help. Alrighty, let's go for a drive now. So we are back in downtown Detroit. Today we've been going all over Metro Detroit again. And I'm down here by the Little Caesars Arena, actually, where we are supposed to come back with the vehicles. So we're just going to go drive randomly around Detroit and talk about what the Equinox EV has been like.
Take the next right onto Temple Street.
No, shush. Wait. Navigation, you guys can be quiet. I am just going to drive around. Hopefully I don't get lost in downtown Detroit. So obviously the value proposition is a huge part of the appeal for the Equinox EV. They're very specific in telling us that this is the most affordable EV with over 315 miles of range, 319 for the front-wheel drive model. Now, the problem I'm immediately facing is I'm driving an RS, and we'll get to talking a little bit more about the value later on, but this one is quite a bit more money as option. I believe this is into the mid 40s for a front-wheel drive 3 RS trim, and you do get a lot of the creature comforts, but the really, really interesting, appealing Equinox EV is going to be the more entry-level ones. When the 1LT comes out later, right, a 1LT front-wheel drive is supposed to start at $34,995, so that is a pretty good price, but then you tack on the tax credit, and we're talking 27s. Now, not everybody will qualify for the tax credit, and there's all these different caveats and rules for EV tax credits, but 27,000-ish is pretty dang good, right? And you get the same power output as the more expensive RS model. With front-wheel drive, you get the same range at 319 miles. You get the same big screen, a lot of really cool features. So that will be the value proposition. But what has this been like to drive? We decided to hop back on the freeway because I want to show you Super Cruise. The upper trims, there we go, Super Cruise enabled, green, hands-free. All right, the upper trims, 2LT, 3LT, 2RS, 3RS, will come with, or option, you can option Super Cruise on them, which is General Motors' hands-free driving system with over 400,000 miles of mapped roads now, and they're going to be getting to 750,000 miles of mapped roads through 2025. And this is the latest Super Cruise, so it has lane change. So I can just signal, or I can do it on its own, but auto lane change took me a little signal, done. If I up the speed and it encounters slower moving traffic, this will do a lane change on its own. It checks the blind spot, makes sure the lanes are clear. It'll indicate, do a lane change past the car in front of you, and then lane change back. And I like that. I mean, I just telling me construction zone, drive with the caution, still paying attention. On the way down, we were in Auburn Hills, and it was about an hour drive down, and I pretty much didn't use the steering wheel at all. It was just Super Cruise, sitting here paying attention. We hit some stop and go traffic on the freeway due to some construction, handled it fine. So when you're on a mapped road, Super Cruise is pretty phenomenal, and with the Equinox EV, you can get it. I don't think you can get it on the gas version of Equinox. Now, I haven't driven the gas Equinox, but there's definitely a lot of differences too. I think that's a 1.5 Turbo 3, if I'm not mistaken, but the screen is smaller. It's like 11 point something inch screen. You don't get the big 17.7 inch screen. You're not going to get Super Cruise. So that's where you're seeing GM starting to give you more of a value proposition by going to the EV platform. You get that instant torque too while driving it. The horsepower numbers and torque numbers don't sound that impressive, and they aren't, right? This is a auto lane change. See, it's doing it. I didn't do that. Hands are not touching anything. So it's passing the car in front of me. It'll get back up to speed. Auto lane change complete. But yeah, this is not like a performance one. We're driving an RS trim, but this is not like super powerful, capable, that type of thing. It's a normal commuter vehicle, and passing power has been fine. Merging on the freeway has been fine. And again, this is the front wheel drive one because you get that electric torque really on demand. You have one pedal driving. We can gauge that on the screen. I don't really like one pedal driving, probably because I don't spend all of my time in EVs. I still like using the brake, but you can also use the regen on demand paddle on the steering wheel. It's not like the Silverado EV that I just drove yesterday, where you can like modulate the amount of braking. It's like a brake pedal. It's like pressure sensitive. This just seems to be like an on off, but you can just pull that and it starts slowing the vehicle down with regen braking. I don't know if I'm supposed to go this far north. I'm just on a random drive route. I'll exit the freeway and turn back around and head back. Actually, let's try out the navigation, while we're at it. So this already saved for a recent route, but we will auto lane change to the right. Oh, I'm gonna mute you. Please quiet down. Thank you very much. We have normal, sport, snow, ice, and my mode, which lets you customize all sorts of different parameters, from how you want the accelerator to feel to all the motor noises, how much that's being generated. Go ahead and turn her on. I think we're flipping a U-turn here. Hit the edit and change all sorts of things. I'm gonna go motor sound sport, acceleration feel sport, brake feel sport, steering sport. Okay, so now my mode is the sporty mode. Let's see what this is like. Little bit of torque steer. And there, we're up the freeway speeds merging. So I did just floor it completely, and my energy efficiency chart went, just took a nosedive. I'm only doing 3 miles per kilowatt hour, but earlier on the drive, my drive partner was driving much more responsibly, efficiently. I wasn't driving irresponsibly, just more efficiently. Anyways, he was getting it up into, I think, the four-ish miles per kilowatt hour. So 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, if you can do that, 300 something miles definitely is doable. But me driving like an idiot, not as good. And that's the other thing we noticed. When you're at freeway speeds, the miles per kilowatt hour number was dropping, right? It's just higher speeds aren't as good for EV. It's not gonna be as efficient, but cruising in the 35 to kind of 55 mile an hour zone, and then some stop and go traffic and just local driving, it did really well. It was getting more and more efficient. So the Equinox EV, what does this compete with? The competitive set of compact EV crossover is going to be the Tesla Model Y, obviously, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Nissan Ariya. And this is a very, very competitive segment in both gas and EV platforms. Tesla is really challenging to go up against because they offer really good range and value proposition. But the tech and interior isn't for everyone. If you value screen size, right, that's a number that a lot of manufacturers and consumers are really, really interested in. This has a bigger touchscreen, right? And that's really all the Tesla interior has, a touchscreen. That's all of it, essentially. We have Super Cruise here, and I'd say that's very competitive from a driver assistance standpoint. Full set of safety features on the Equinox EV, and some cool touches. The real value is going to come, like I mentioned earlier, with the 1LG and the tax credit, which gets it to $27K. The problem with something like the 3RS front-wheel drive I'm driving right now, when you're into the mid-40s, we're touching upon the bottom of the Blazer pricing too, right? And you can get that with all-wheel drive versus this is front-wheel drive. It's, yeah. I don't know if this is the right value one. I would definitely go for the lower tier ones and see what that's like, because you still get a lot of the similar content, and I think that is the appeal. I think this is going to definitely become much more appealing than the gas models, and it's an easy transition to go from Equinox gas, right, as a compact crossover. There's one that's just driving past us right there, and a previous gen gas one, to jump into this, and you'll get similar size vehicle, similar price point, and you have a lot of the perks of having a ground-up Ultium-based EV vehicle. It's been a comfortable vehicle to drive and be in, just going around Metro Detroit today. Nothing awe-inspiring in terms of driving dynamics, handling, performance, speed, things like that. This is truly just a commuter vehicle, something for a family, right, to get you around, get your family around town. Tons of safety features. I have enjoyed playing around with Super Cruise as always, but I'm going to take over as we are exiting right now, as we head back into downtown Detroit. The range number is good. The interior has some pretty cool stuff. The screen stuff, that's impressive. The fact that I was just driving a Silverado EV RST first edition, right, that was 94 something, 95, almost $100,000, and then you can hop into something that starts in the 30s and have the same system essentially. That's a pretty good value proposition right there. I really do like this like gradient trim fade right there. But other than trapping me in the backseat because child lock was on, I had to call for help. I was like, I don't want to have to climb up front, and the vehicle was off, so I couldn't roll the windows down to try to open it from the outside. So I just kind of reached for it, opened the driver door from back there, and like I was like, Miles, help! I'm trapped in the back. He goes, I hear my voice, I hear my name. It just me stuck in the back because child lock was on in the Equinox. That was amusing. I wasn't scared at all. Anyways, what else? What else about the Equinox EV? Let's give that regen pedal a try. So I just press it. Ooh, all right, pretty aggressive. I wonder if I pair that with one pedal driving. You can set the level of one pedal driving. If we go to high, I'm not a huge fan of high, but as soon as you let off the accelerator, like that's pretty aggressive slowing. And you kind of got to just keep feathering the accelerator. It's one of my pet peeves when I accidentally call the accelerator in a EV either the gas pedal or the throttle, because it doesn't have gas, doesn't have a throttle, right? So I'm always so particular about calling the accelerator, right? I want the go pedal. But yeah, you kind of end up having to feather that if you're using regen braking with the one step or one pedal driving. Oh yeah, there's also personalized ambient lighting with a lot of different colors, but it's daytime right now, so we wouldn't be able to see anything. But, you know, for funsies, it's going to be lilac for whoever drives this next at night. Very gradual. The all-wheel drive one will be a little bit quicker. 0 to 60 in 6 seconds is not bad for this type of vehicle. And again, that instant torque. It's, well, more instant than a gasoline engine sending power through the transmission. This doesn't have the crazy sporty like throwback they expect in some of the more performance-oriented EVs. But it has been a perfectly pleasant compact electric crossover to drive today and experience. I'm a little bit bummed that there's no front trunk. It's one of my favorite parts of some EVs, but it likely just prioritized cabin space and cargo capacity. There's a decent sized trunk back there, and you gotta hide all the electrical and mechanical bits in somewhere, right? It is really nice having the big screen in the entry-level one. While we are in a pretty higher tier option, 3RS, you would get that in the 1LT, which is the most affordable one with front-wheel drive. I would love to try out a all-wheel drive one at some point, but I would say definitely a competitive offering in the compact electric SUV space. And I really do like this like paint fade gradient. So cool. All right, that concludes our first experience in the Chevrolet Equinox EV. I think this is much more appealing than the gas one, just looking from the specs and the feature set that is being offered, right? You get the range there, you get some pretty good charging rates, you also have a pretty appealing price point, and then you start tacking on the cool tech features, Super Cruise, you have the larger screen, it's pretty practical, I got plenty of space. I was actually pretty surprised with the amount of legroom and headroom I had in the second row before I got trapped back there. You got nice packaging like the storage bin underneath here, tons of cup holders, ports, and so forth. So yeah, this definitely checks a lot of boxes, but we shall see what the 1LT is like, because that is going to be the properly affordable one, under $30,000 with the tax credit, and you still get 319 miles of range. There's my first drive, first review of the Chevrolet Equinox EV RS. There's a Silverado EV in front of me. We were driving that yesterday. Check out that video too. Thanks for watching.